This podcast is for a mature audience and may be viewed as inappropriate or insensitive to some. Listener discretion is advised. The intention is to share conversation of like and unlike-minded individuals as they try to be the best them they can be in a life full of challenges, searching for love, acceptance, and positivity. Call 669-241-1422 and share yourself or catch up with Sweet Baby J for an anonymous face-to-face interview. Feel free to call in with questions, stories, thoughts, or anything you would love to talk about and share. Nothing is off the table when talking sweet with Sweet Baby J at 669-241-1422.
Ladies and gents and ladies, once again, you are here talking sweet with the one and only Sweet Baby J. As always, it's a no-face, no-case scenario where we offer the opportunity for our guests to share their identity or not. We have this beautiful young lady, and I'm going to say she is beautiful because if you look at her pics, OMMMFG.
Thank you. You're being very generous with that compliment.
No, the hell I'm not. Young lady, would you like to share your identity or not?
I don't mind sharing my identity. My name is Titu, 42-year-old female in New York.
Holla.
Hustling and bustling.
When you say hustling and bustling, like what do you mean hustling and bustling? Just because it's the New York lifestyle, the New York way, or what is your hustle and what is your bustle?
Well, I work 9 to 5 in corporate. I work for a commercial real estate company, and my hustle on the side, I have a multifamily property out here in New York. I have a 4 family, so I do a little bit of lady landlording, which is quite interesting, fun, and keeps me entertained, busy, and a little bit stressed at the same time. But I like to think of myself as a problem solver. And a lot of people know that I have a car rental business as well. Started off with a fleet of 3 cars. One of them was recently totaled. So now I'm down to 2. And now I'm trying to build an exotic car rental business instead of being in a luxury car business. About it.
No, that's shit. You say that's about it. That's a lot. So wait a minute. You just gave me a lot to digest. Now, one of your vehicles was totaled. How does that happen, and how do you recover from such a thing?
When I started, I didn't know a lot about the business. I went in with a partner, and that partnership didn't really work out, and so I kind of had to figure it out on my own. So I let the car sit for maybe like a year and a half before I really got it up and running off the ground. And I used one of these peer-to-peer car sharing companies. A lot of people have been hearing about them a lot lately, which is like Turo, Get Around, Hire Car. They have a lot of car sharing companies. Basically, they bring the clients to you, they rent your car, and one of the people that rented my car actually damaged the hood. The hood was turned inside. I don't know how it happened. And the insurance company actually wrote it off as a total because they felt like the repairs would be much more than what the car is worth. And so it got salvaged, and you can't rent a salvage car. And so therefore I had to take it off the platform.
How does that work out? Even just doing this and someone totaled your car. Is it a pretty lucrative business? And when a vehicle is taken out of your fleet, does it hit you hard compared to what you were making?
Well, it depends on how long the vehicle was making money. So if your vehicle was making money for quite some time, it probably pays for itself within the first year, depending really on how much you're charging. When I was working with this peer-to-peer car rental company, they kind of determined what the price was, which initially wasn't what my business model was set up to do. My business model had my own prices set up for weekday prices, weekend prices, holiday prices, but they kind of did it like an hourly model, and I couldn't really dictate the price, and I had to make my car 100% available to them, which was okay because they bring all of the clients to me. So out of 31 days, I would say my car was rented anywhere from 28 to 31 days. And so I never had any downtime. Whereas when I was doing it on my own and trying to market it on my own, I would probably be renting it maybe a third of that time.
It sounds like going through them, it was actually like they did all the legwork, that it was actually better for you, right?
Absolutely. And I shared the profits with them. It was a 60-40 split. I kept 60%. They took 40 off the top. But just alone with the amount of customers that they got to me, they handled the Easy Pass. Someone gets a parking ticket. I pay for it. They pay me on top of that. They gave me bonuses for making my car available. They put a kill switch in my car. So if somebody doesn't return it on time, they kill the engine and nobody can nobody can like try and take the car. They would actually tow it back to me as soon as possible. So they actually did a lot of the work. So it's almost semi-passive when you think about like in terms of how much work I had to put into it in order to get the money back. And I think that was something that was really like a sweet deal to me. It's like when I was renting it myself, I would have to meet the passengers. But with this company, the clients could unlock the car with their phone. So I really didn't have to be hands-on. It has its ups and its downs in the business. Like I said, I went through a lot of pain and mistakes through the business, but it definitely was worth it. And now that you know better, you do better. And so now when I set up this next business model, I definitely will be doing it better.
As I said, I know this young lady from way back when, and she is nothing to sneeze at, especially during COVID. No sneezing during COVID. But this is the thing. You're an attractive young lady, and you were out here meeting people to rent out these vehicles. Were you ever nervous about meeting random strangers and renting out these vehicles?
Well, I had my vehicle parked at a valet garage. So they would just go to the valet person and pick up the vehicle. So it was like a professional handoff.
Okay.
Because I was at work. I never really had to meet the people. Sometimes I would run into them. It was no problem. Some people would text me. I would get a text message every time somebody confirmed a rental. I would text message them, tell them, okay, this is where you're going to pick up the car. This is how you obtain it. You go to the valet guy. You tell him this, this, and that. Then you show your driver's license, and there you go. You're off. So no, like meeting these people, it's not really a scary thing.
You know, you also.
I'm no hardcore woman, but like I don't take no. I'm New York, so like it's really
Shut up. Listen, I know you, and I know you're hardcore. I know you're hardcore. Okay, you don't got to be modest about it right now. But I got this next question for you: the fact that you say you are a landlord of a 4-unit property.
Yeah.
Do you feel that you are approached, handled, responded to differently being a female landlord as opposed to a male?
I do. First off, dealing with servicemen or contractors or plumbers, electricians, it's a very male-heavy industry when it comes to getting repairs or things that I need done at the home. And sometimes I don't feel as if I would get the same service or respect if I were a man. A little secret. I used to wear a fake ring so that they would think I was married, so that they know not to fuck with me.
So you're not married. You're not married.
They know that there was somebody who could come up there and beat the shit out of them if it needed to be.
So you're not married?
Not married.
Are you dating anyone? Or while you're dating, if you're dating, does this person help you out through this process? Like, how does this work out for you?
I am dating someone, and actually it's all new. It's really recent. And he's a landlord himself, and he's really into the multifamily property to generate additional income. And it's really, really great to kind of bounce ideas off of him. And he's been teaching me things in regards to helping me with my home. No, in regards to getting advice, yes. But I think that if the journey continues, I'm like, yo, can you go shovel the house? Like,
you're in New York City.
Snowstorm is coming.
Well, that's what I'm talking about. You're in New York City. You have this unit. When there's a blizzard or a snowstorm, are you out there shoveling, or you be like, yo, listen, let me get this.
Sometimes.
Get out.
Sometimes I'm out there shoveling, but I have what I call my resident manager. People that are in the industry, they're familiar with that term. It's somebody who lives on the property, who you might give a deal on the break on the rent, and they help you out. So that person is the one who meets with the contractors at the house when I need them to, handling the garbage day and making sure that it's sorted properly, collecting the rent from the tenant so I don't have to be there. So I'm not exactly in the tenant space. Because one thing that I did learn was that the more familiar the tenants are with you, the more they take advantage. And she would be the one who would shovel and stuff like that. So I don't really have to, So I wouldn't have to be the one who goes out. I mean, for a break on your rent, you'll put in some sweat equity.
This is the thing. It's funny. You said she, and the whole time you were talking, I was expecting this to be a gentleman. But this is a young lady. Is she out there doing, and I'm not trying to sound sexist or anything, but she is out there doing the work that most people would expect a man would be doing.
Why do you think that?
You know
I believe that there's a lot of people that have, females that have homes that have to get out there and shovel.
Yeah, it's the truth.
We're investing in a snowblower this year, by the way. But no, I have found many of people with snow, when it's really bad, I really don't want her to come out her home and do all of that. So I will hire someone who come with their snowblower and just get the snow right out of the way.
How did you get this 4-unit property?
I went through a nonprofit organization called NACA, and they help first-time home buyers to get their homes with low interest rates. They don't do it based off of your credit score. And if you aren't able to get the home, they will help you. So they do mortgage counseling with you for however long it takes until you get your home.
Is this a New York City thing, or are they national all over the place?
They're national. They're all over. They're not exactly in every state, but they are all over, and they're making moves on getting people into their first home.
And this is for strictly for first home buyers, right?
Yes, first time home buyers.
Damn, I swear, just because I was all responsible and everything and bought my first home at a young age, I feel like I'd be penalized or something. Like, well, I can't get on these deals.
No, it's great. And a lot of people think it's a scam, but it's no down payment, no closing costs. I'm a person who went through the program and actually was successful in purchasing a home through them.
So you had the option to buy a single family unit or a 4-family unit?
You can buy a single up to a 4, so single, 2, 3, or 4, or a mixed-use property. So if you own a business and you need a storefront, let's say you're a barber and you need a barber shop, you can buy property that has a commercial space and also living space.
I gotta tell you, I respect your movements. This is a really big deal. And you did all this while being single.
All while being single, yes.
So now that you're dating someone and he seems to be in the same maneuverations, if that's a word, as you, how is that?
It's cool. It's really cool. I mean, it's all new for me. Like, this is like really, really new. But I think it's cool because I think dating at my age, I don't typically find men that are making as many moves as I am, and not that that's a bad thing. I never look down on it if they're not. Some men are very successful in their own right, just working their 9 to 5, so they're making way more money than I do with that, so that's not a problem. But no, it's cool. It's cool.
With all that you're doing, because it sounds like you've got multiple businesses going on, is there ever, or has there ever been an issue for you while dating where men would look at you like, she's doing too much, or maybe that you may lose respect for them because you may be doing more than them? Is this ever a challenge that you come across?
I don't know if that's a challenge for Black women in general. And I don't want to put Black men in any other place than where they need to be, which is the utmost and highest respect that I have for them.
Holla.
However, I'm not sure if I run into as many Black men that are making the moves that I'm making. Men in general, I would say.
Well, you speak about Black men. Were you ever open to other races and other that, or are you just solely into?
Yeah, I've dated Latin men, never Caucasian, Asian, or any other race. So,
is there any reason for that?
I like what I like.
Ain't nothing wrong with that, girl. Get your tea.
I like what I like. However, when I am making like suggestions to women that are dating, I do say sometimes that I wish that Black women would be open to dating other races more, only because I feel like for years and years and years, Black men have been doing this and they've been dating other races. And I'm all for a person that's about love. So if you love that person and that's what you want to do, like, go for it, right? But then what I don't like to hear is Black men say that they're not dating Black women for a specific reason when they kind of group us into one category. And I know that Black men kind of get put down for the type of men that they can be in relationships, and we don't see many successful relationships. Now I think there is an uptick in successful relationships with Black men, but I think just in general, they kind of get the lower end of the stick just because we don't believe in them as much. And so, but we love them. That's what we grew up with. That's what we know. And it's familiar to us. But if we took the time to maybe date other races and just kind of get out of that comfort zone, we might find those things that we're looking for, like commitment or marriage or success, if that's what it is, or somebody who has their shit together when it comes to money, finances. Now,
I'm hearing all what you're saying, right? And I feel you 1,000%. But as a semi-single woman,
I am single. Thank you very much.
Oh, wait. So you are single. You're not claiming this dude. You are single.
I'm single. Yes, I'm single.
Wait a minute. What would it take for this dude to lock you down?
Well, I guess he would have to say, it would have to just be understood. It doesn't necessarily have to be said. I think it would have to be understood.
You're crazy. It has to be said, Joe.
You think so?
It has to be said. You might mess around and be caught up in your feelings, thinking everything is great, and then you hear, I never said that. It has to be said.
Okay, so how would you say it if you're not a single man, but
not
if
at
you
all.
were single and you were trying to get with a young lady and you wanted to make her your girl?
Well, you know what?
What exactly would be said?
I'll give you the best example that I can, which is how I met my wife. We were intentional in the time that we spent. which was magnificent. But beyond that, I actually proposed to her within 6 months, and I'm not even that kind of guy. But after 6 months...
I've known you for a very long time.
So you already know I'm not that kind of guy. But within 6 months, I proposed. 2 years later, we were married. Now, I am a firm believer in this or get off the pot. If you want to be with somebody, you have to be purposeful in your movements with that person. For women, you have to be purposeful in locking down a man, and same thing for a man towards a woman. Do you agree?
Agree.
Okay.
Agreed. You're right. Yeah, it is something when it's actually said, and it should be said, understood, in agreement, and talked about so that there's an understanding of exactly what it is that you believe a relationship is. Because what I believe might be considered a relationship might not be what he believes is considered a relationship. So we have to have a mutual understanding about exactly what it is that we're doing. And so what's monogamy look like, or what does being in a relationship with each other look like, and what are those expectations? I'm not one that really believes in expectations, but sometimes there are some expectations that people have when they're dating someone. Like, do you expect this person that if you're stranded with a flat tire to come out and get you? Hell yeah. Like, so you have to, I think that has to be understood. So I agree. And yes, it should be discussed.
For some people, having sex without a condom means we're in a relationship. That's for some people. And for some people, it's just like, you just another one I went raw with. Like, calm down. So, you really have to have this conversation, be solid in your movements and your maneuverations and all of that. So what would it take for you to lock down a guy? You doing your thing. But how do you lock down a man?
I'm not locking down a man.
You crazy.
He has to lock me down. Maybe I'm not understanding the question.
If this dude is doing everything that you like, everything that you want, he's maneuvering the way that you are pleased with, you're not going to lock him down? You're not going to say, hey, listen, I like what you're doing. I like how we spend time. I like the things that we do, and I want to spend more of this with you. I can actually see us going long term. How do you feel about that?
I have to think about that and get back to you on that one. And let me tell you why. I think it's a past experience of mine. My last long-term relationship, we started off dating. It wasn't said. I think I had told him, I think he had told me that he didn't want to be in a relationship. And I'm saying I think because I don't know if I told him first or he said it to me, whatever it was, right? I knew that he did not want to be in a relationship. But he was doing relationship things.
So what?
I know, right? But like, it was like things that I had never done with a man before. So he would bring all three of his children here to my house, stay the night with my child. We would take the kids out. I would cook dinner for everybody. And we were doing like these family things. And I was like, oh my God, like this is my man. But he kept saying he wasn't ready for a relationship. I don't know at what point we were in a relationship, but I knew it was over a year or more.
How did that end? 5
years down the line.
Damn.
Found out he had a 10-month-old.
You said you guys have a 10-month-old?
No, he had a 10-month-old with someone else.
Oh, as I said, just because you going raw don't mean you're the only person he going raw with. But go ahead.
That was an eye-opener. I was like, yo, okay, we can do the math, right? 9 months to bake a baby. She's 10 months old. This had to have happened, like, at this time we were together. And he was like, no, we weren't. He was like, you weren't my girl. And I was devastated. I couldn't believe that he had the audacity to say that I wasn't his girl at that time. Are you kidding me?
All the time we spent as a family unit?
Right.
Wow.
We were going on trips together. Like, we were doing this. He was like, no, like, you was. I was like, you begged to get back with me because I had broken up with him at one point. And that's another thing. The back and forth, the gray areas, those are not really good. But anyway, I was like, you got to be kidding me. What do you mean? Like, we weren't together. And then he went on to say that I forced him into a relationship. Oh. And this is why I said I will never lock a man down. He has to choose me. Because I was so into him. And because I wanted him so bad and I was so attracted to him and I thought that he was the one, I just made myself open and available to him to treat me any way that he wanted to treat me until I was his girl, and then realized that I wasn't his girl.
So you said treat you any way that he wanted to treat you. Was he treating you good throughout this process besides the family time? Because it sounds like you have a child, he had children. So therefore, there was something, that combination that made you feel whole. But did he treat you as an individual how you wanted to be treated?
Yes, I wouldn't say for 1 minute in my mind that he didn't treat me like the way I wanted to be treated. The biggest thing that we probably went back and forth about back in the very beginning was that he didn't want to be my man, which is something that I should have never went back and forth about. If he said it, I should have treated it as such and kept it moving.
I had a young lady back in the days, and she kept saying she wanted to be my girl. Boy, if she listens, she's going to try it. She will hunt me down and saute me like a fish. I know it. But she kept saying she wanted to be my girl, and I kept telling her, why do you want to put a title on such a good thing? We had a great time. We had an amazing time. But I personally did not want to lock her down. So therefore, it just wasn't something that I wanted to do. So I didn't do it. So that sounds like it was a situation right here. But how did you move on from this? Because you have a child. How do you introduce a man into your unit, into your business arrangements while you have a child, you're a single woman, you're doing your business ventures? How does this all maneuver? How does this all mesh?
I mean, well, he was the last one that was in my child's life. So he came into my life when my daughter was I don't know, maybe 9, 10, and we were together for 6 years because I stayed even after finding out about the baby. Yeah. We actually got a marriage license to be married, but the DNA results came in before we planned to go down to the courthouse and get married.
Wait, okay.
That ruined that.
There's too much. There's too much going on.
I know, right?
Wait,
so much.
Wait, the DNA results. No, we're about to go through this. The DNA results. When you say the DNA results, because it was his kid, right?
Oh, well, I guess that was another thing. He was saying it wasn't.
Oh, he was saying it wasn't, but it ended up being his.
Yeah, sorry. I missed that part. It was so long ago. I forget some of the intricate details.
You really wanted to be with him so bad that the possibility that he may have had a kid while being with you, you were still willing to make this happen?
Well, yes. Let me tell you why. I feel, geez, how do I explain this without?
I don't know, but I'm all ears. Give it to me, baby. Give it to me.
I don't think that every relationship is worth giving up on because of mistakes that the man may have made.
I agree.
People make mistakes. I do believe that he felt like he made a mistake. And he was my best friend. When you're with someone for that long, that person becomes very, very close to you, so close to you that you can't have that type of relationship with anybody else in the world. Not with your mother, not with your father, not with your children, not with your brother, sister, cousins. You can't have that type of relationship that you have with that, but because it's an intimate relationship, one in which you share your body with that person, right? And that's something that's very sacred to most. And I feel that, if you're with this person every day, this is someone that you choose to be with. This is not relation by blood. This is not someone that you feel like you have to love because they're in your family. This is someone that you choose to love, that you choose to be around and you choose to have in your space. And when it's like that, he was my friend. And so I didn't want to give up on him.
Wow. I think a lot of people in relationships go through similar things. I always hear people say, if my partner cheated on me, it's over. And my one question is, why would you throw away the possibility of a great relationship over an indiscretion or, a slip up or something like that? It also is about how the person goes about it. But just because someone has always been great to you and then, something happens, do you really throw everything away?
No, I don't think you should. Been a cheater before in the past, trying to change my ways. Lord help me. But a lot of it is because of selfish reasons. A lot of it is just from what I watched growing up, just kind of seeing men in my family kind of dog out women. I just felt like, well, hey, before he does this to me, I'm going to do this to him. And kind of things like that I didn't really understand the importance of loyalty to someone. But I say all that to say that I don't think that you should give up on someone because they make a mistake, because they're probably making it very selfishly. They're not thinking properly at the time. And I believe in second chances.
I believe you. I see you.
Now, when you get to chance number 734,
okay,
that might be a problem.
19 kids. Yo, how you got 19 kids? We've been together 4 years. What's up? You wild.
Sometimes you have to realize you have to choose you first.
Exactly. You said you were a cheater yourself.
Oh, boy.
Oh boy.
I
So,
have cheated.
oh, okay. You have cheated in the past. What was on your mind when cheating, and if there was a possibility that you were to get pregnant while, cheating, how do you handle such things?
That would never happen. Never. I don't know how that happens with people getting pregnant while cheating. It just wouldn't happen. I don't know. I mean, you have to handle that. I don't know.
You crazy.
You would have to take care of that.
Wow.
You can't bring that home. What do you say? Hey, I'm pregnant.
A lot.
Be yours, might not be yours.
A lot of people do. It's really wild. A lot of people do. Woo.
I'm sure they do. I wouldn't.
I don't know how that whole conversation goes down when the baby's born with blue eyes and blonde hair, and neither one of you.
Right. Oh, it was something back in generations long ago.
My great grandfather was blonde from Ireland.
Which can happen too, but
I guess that's a hard sale, but okay. Wow, it's just so dope. I've seen you. I mean, we've known each other for over 20 years.
Over 20 years, yeah.
Over 20 years, and it's just wild that you're still single. I just don't get it. But
I actually hate that when when men say that, only because it almost seems as if they're trying to say well, what is wrong with you?
Oh,
that you're still single, not saying, damn, men out here must be really, really it's really hard to find a good one.
You would consider yourself a good one?
No, I'm talking about it's really hard to find a good man.
Oh,
yeah.
Why is it so hard to find?
No one ever says to me, "Oh, you must be single because men ain't shit out here." So I know it's really hard to find a good one. They're always so you're single. What's the matter with you? You're crazy.
What you doing?
What's going on?
Your toes look bad. What's going on?
Exactly. Or can it be by choice? So I've been happily single for 2 years, and I didn't want a relationship. I didn't want to be bothered.
Why?
I wanted to be, but I didn't want to be bothered with the men, because sometimes men can be a headache.
I agree.
Or they would stress relationships that I didn't want. So I don't know. I just didn't want to be that woman. I wasn't ready to be
locked down.
A girlfriend, yeah.
How do you handle a man? You're dating him, everything is cool, but it's casual, and he wants something serious. How do you handle such a situation?
You have to let him know up front. You have to be really upfront with him and let him know that you just want it to be casual. But let me tell you, some men are very, 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 very persistent in saying that they want to lock you down. And I think that women have in their heads already, and they know that, like you said, you knew that woman wasn't the one that you were going to lock down, but it was fun. And it was great. And it was awesome.
Oh, yeah.
But you just know that that's not, women know the same thing. Women know nah, son, you're not the one for me.
The ride is good, but I don't want to ride it forever.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel you. I definitely feel you. Or you pretty much know when you're chill. But you're coming up onto those days when you feel you know what? I think this is what I want. It sounds like that. Is that the case?
Well, it's funny. I had been off of social media. I was taking a social media break and a television break just to focus on my businesses more. And one weekend I came down with some very flu-like, not COVID, symptoms. And I was just stuck in the house and couldn't do anything. I couldn't move. I couldn't do anything. I'm watching TV. I'm scrolling through Instagram and Facebook. And I had seen a post that my best friend posted of a wedding that she was at. And the theme of the wedding, or something, had been labeled Tenderonies, but it was spelled like Tinder the app. And I was like, oh my gosh, this woman found her husband on Tinder? You got to be kidding. I downloaded 2 dating apps that weekend, and I was scrolling, and I just, the first week.
Is that where you guys met?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. So just to put you on, right? I have an episode of a young lady who has been a longtime friend as well. She has a child. Her now husband has, I think, 3 children, and they met on Tinder. I legit thought that Tinder was a place where people just meet to get it popping.
But see, okay, and that is true. I think that probably more often than not, people want to get it popping on there.
I ain't mad at them. Do you?
But you have to learn how to weed out who wants to just get it popping and who's really interested for the long term.
She went into it very purposeful, and apparently he was. And she made him lock it down because she was purposeful with her actions. and he locked it down. This is going to be their second year of marriage. I wish them the absolute best.
I'm going to have to listen to that episode to see how purposeful.
Well,
actually, I went in this with an intention. I was like, I'm going to find me a man.
A man or a husband? Oh, just long-term or short-term?
Long time. I was thinking long-term. I don't know what it was. I'm telling you, I had no interest in being anyone's girlfriend. I wanted to focus on my businesses. I wanted to do everything it was. Actually, 2 weeks after I was on the app, my ex had died. And not the ex that I was talking about before, but my ex had passed away. And I went through it, and I had deleted the app. And I didn't want to be on those apps anymore. I was just like, I can't deal with it. I don't want to talk to anybody. Like, this is really, really hurtful for me. It's painful. I can't deal. But I had already given this gentleman my number. I had given a couple of guys my number that was able to reach out to me directly. 3 to be exact. One friend zoned me. Go figure.
So wait. Somebody friend zoned you?
Someone friend zoned me.
How did that feel? Like, oh, this dude playing. How did that feel?
Actually, I didn't have any feelings behind it. I told him I respect it. I said, listen, I'm a great friend to have, so keep me around. I said, but if you don't see me as the one, then I'm okay with that. And that's what I think that a lot of people are missing when people say, like, you're not the one for me. You have to be okay with it.
Yeah.
Like, you can't, like, force anybody or continue to be persistent, because persistence will get you in situations when niggas is having babies with other women. I'm sorry. I just kind of went back into my own life. But yes, I have to respect it. And I will forevermore, since that experience, respect it if a man says that I'm not the one for him.
His loss. His
loss. I will not pursue it.
So what happened with this gentleman that you said he was murdered?
I said he passed away.
He passed away. Wow.
Yeah.
Well, my condolences, of course.
Yeah. Well, luckily, I gave the right one my number.
Oh, there you go. And he's still rocking strong.
Still rocking strong. He was patient. He was kind. He was very patient, understanding. It worked.
So you meet someone off of a dating website. Now, I'm not sure as to what level you are in this relationship, but when do you go all in, like condom off? How long does that take?
Wow, this is deep. I know when you asked me that I want to be anonymous, and I said, no, I didn't think you warned me. I think when the time feels right, and I think you both will know it, I think that there are some things that don't have to be asked, some things that don't have to be said. I think that you will feel it and you will know when it's right, when the time is right.
So that was the case for you?
I didn't say that was the case for me.
All right, we won't act like you said that was the case for you. You meet someone on a dating site. Is there testing? Because for me personally, any female that I've ever snatched that thing off with, we've always been tested before. So is that something that happens before? Or if you don't feel comfortable answering, you don't have to. But I want to know.
Wait, I'm sorry. So
how does one, because you're saying when you know, you know. But right. I think in 2022, 2021, 2020, all of this, and this is just the way that things are right now, I think it's more than just a when you know, you know. I think there's testing that needs to take place. And this is just how I have maneuvered in the past. I'm a married man now. There's no maneuverations like that. But is this something that you say, listen, if we're going to go this route, we need to be tested first? Are these things that you do or you have done?
I have asked for tests in the past. So I assume you're talking about tests to make sure everybody's disease-free.
Exactly.
And yeah. I thought you meant like tests. I was to say, I hate tests. I'm glad I made you repeat that. Yes, I have asked for that in the past. Absolutely. I haven't asked for that yet with this one, but, we'll see.
What's the delay in asking for that?
We're still getting to know each other. It's just all good and fun, and when the conversation needs to be had, we'll have it.
I'll be asking that damn conversation on the second date.
As you should, as most people should. I wish more people would.
I think a lot of people do not have adult conversations while trying to do adult things, which leads to...
And this is why you should have the conversations before.
Yeah.
We talked for a month before we even met in person. And then it was like another month before we even saw each other again. And so there was a lot of time. I wouldn't say another month, maybe it was like a few weeks, but there was a lot of time spent on the phone getting to know each other. And actually, our conversations didn't lead with sex at all. We talked about goals in life and what we wanted out of life and our businesses, because we had that in common, and just things that we did, family values and things like that. And so I think that's important when getting to know someone, because you kind of know what their intentions are. Because once the conversation switches to sex, I think that is people automatically assume that's going to be the next step. So, okay, our next meeting, we're going to try this out. Like, this is what it's going to be. And that's not necessarily what it is. Yeah, I want to know what your likes and your dislikes are, how we're going to do this and this and that. But if the conversation is always leading with that, women, you should pretty much know that he probably just wants that.
So I've actually, just for entertainment purposes, signed up on like little dating apps, whatever. And you know what? Once you pass 40, yeah, it looks like some slim pickings. I feel sort of bad for single people out there. Like,
what are the pickings that you see?
I've seen, wow, nothing that I would choose. It's been wild, and it's just, I could not imagine what it's like being single in this day and age, looking for companionship in someone with commonalities while you're doing your thing, and still at the same time. And I got to ask you, how do you know that it's not someone that's trying to take advantage of you and how you maneuver?
So we don't date at 40 the same way we dated in our 20s, not even in our 30s, right? And so for women or men, if you've been manipulated by a person, you know you have to do things differently. I think some of the things that we get caught up with is that we kind of go into the same pattern, and then we keep picking the same type of person, and we keep doing the same thing over and over. And you just have to weed out the garbage. It's hard, but like I said, cut it as soon as you know that person's not the one, cut it off. Like, okay, bro, your friends are like, we could be great friends. And I've been on dating apps before, and this is the first time that like I've ever really liked someone. Everyone else has just turned into a friend. It never moved past that. So I think that you have to take your time with it. And I know that seems like something that people don't want to do anymore, because you're like, oh, I'm 40, I'm grown, we grown ass people. Let's do this, let's do that. But you have to take your time. You have to kind of see what that person's about. It's hard, but you're not going to find the right one by keep saying, oh, it's hard, I don't want to deal with it. You have to go through it.
What was the hardest part for you? Just like building a
business. You have to go through the ups and downs of building a business before everything is great.
You ain't lying. What was the hardest part for you in this process with this young man and starting your business? What were your lowest lows and your highest highs? Dating and with your business. It's all in one, boo boo.
I think the lows is probably finding time and having somebody that understands that you can't always be available. And so I think that some people think that when you're not available, they think that you're just not finding the time for them.
Or out there doing something with somebody else.
Not
Not always the case.
And the highs is just like finding someone who does understand. Like it just like, wow, it makes sense to him because he knows or he understands. And it makes sense to me that he doesn't always have time because I understand what it is to be running multiple businesses and just on a grind. And so, I think that's kind of it.
At that point, it feels like you're actually growing with someone.
Going with someone, meaning?
Like you are getting to know them, they're getting to know you, you guys understand one another. That I would consider growing with someone.
Oh, yes, growing. I'm sorry, yeah.
What did you think I meant when I said growing? Where was your mind at,
I thought you said going with somebody, like, oh, we go together.
Man, that sounds so 16-year-old.
I know. I was like, going with someone. I was like,
dang,
I have on the right call. Hello?
I have not said going with someone. I've actually never said that. Going with someone. Sheesh.
I make jokes. I'm like, nah, we go together now.
Oof. I couldn't even imagine saying that. Going together. Well, young lady, I really got to say, I really appreciate you for taking the time for Talkin Sweet with Sweet Baby J. You brought a lot of insight into your personal life and all that you're doing. I'm wishing you the best.
It was the questions that you were asking. I didn't really think that we would get this personal.
I get personal, baby. I listen, I get deep. They call me the jackhammer.
Damn.
They don't, but I just made that up.
Oh, my God. You're crazy.
We're not going to lose out on this opportunity for you to share your business, your rental service. Would you like to share it out there? Because, hey, this is a business opportunity. We can't knock it.
Absolutely. I just changed my Instagram name, so I want to make sure that I give it to you guys the right way. Right now, we haven't been posting as frequently as we should, only because we're changing the business model. But my business page is push1 Push One Exotic, and that's where we're starting to build to make sure that we'll have these exotic rentals for you. Right now, we don't have any cars available. I have someone who's doing a month-to-month rental, and the other vehicle I'm using for my personal use. So Push One Exotics, and then my personal page is T2_LA_JESA Titu Lahafa. Please feel free to follow me. I promise I'm going to post more. My page might look really boring right now, but I'll get it together at some point.
So when you have these vehicles, how do you differentiate what you're going to use as your personal vehicle as to what vehicle you're going to use for a rental?
Actually, the vehicle that I use now for my personal vehicle, I was using for chauffeuring in the beginning. I mean, it wasn't set to be my personal vehicle, but the vehicle wouldn't pass inspection to get rented. So I changed my personal vehicle to my rented vehicle. You have to be able to move around and kind of be flexible with your expectations and what you're going to do in order to make it work. Like I had to get money. Like I had these 3 cars that had car notes that had to be paid. I had to figure out a way to make it happen. And if that meant giving up my personal car, it was hard because I had a lot of emotion. It was my first vehicle. People would scratch it and I would be so upset. I'm like, oh my God. But then I had to completely remove the emotion so that I wasn't so devastated. And that's why when it got totaled, I was just like, all right, well, this is what happens in a business. It got totaled. There's nothing I can do about it. Let's move on. Let's figure out how we're going to get the next car.
Young lady, thank you. Once again, Talkin Sweet with Sweet Baby J. I know you for being the beautiful young lady you are. It's great to see that you are on a journey of being the best you that you can be, and I know it's going to work out.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
That's about it.